Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They coming off their very first loss of the year, suffered a week ago.
Yeah, it will not be a perfect season, but I'm interested to see how they bounce back now that they know that chasing the 1972 Dolphins is out the window.
On the other side of the field for the visiting 49ers, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. This is fielded at the goal line. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble, now great field position. They'll run it here. This is James White. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. White's numbers from a week ago. 9 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
And they love what they've got in him. He's the number 4 rusher in the league right now, so you know that you have to account for him on defense, which means you can play complementary football as well. Throw the play action, get it out to the wide receivers, because they should have some open space, because the defense will key on them.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back.
Looking for Decker, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. They were looking the way of Decker that time. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The first carry now for Doug Martin. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try. From the left hash, this from 39. And Butker able to put this one through. And the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. That's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger heading back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
On the toss, here's White. And shedding through the tackle. A second broken tackle. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be fourth down and a few inches. They'll try and throw for him with Roethlisberger. And able to find Decker. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. So first and 10 now from the 30. On first and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, and now he bowls him over. This is caught. A very solid gain of 27. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally.
And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. James White, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Stephen Hauschka for the point after. Hauschka with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. One quarter down here on a frigid December night. It's the Seahawks on top here early. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They begin with Michel on the ground. And an alley to run. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Keeping it on the ground on first, Michel. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Wilson on second down. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play action fade.
Third and long, it's Wilson. And I think the ball's out, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And tough sledding. You'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Sean Williams that time in on the stop.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now Roethlisberger. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. He's at the 40. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
On the return, this is Jaquiz Rogers. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. To Decker over the middle. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Myles Garrett in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
To the right side and complete to Njoku. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now Wilson. He'll check this one down to Michelle.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage that's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that, because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
On second down, here's Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. This is Michel on the counter. Powers through. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. And he gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down.
That's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know,
oh, the Seahawks come after it, and they block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember.
A terrific pump block, and that has to set them up in a position to try and get more points, don't you think, this time frame?
Absolutely, and what a momentum booster that could be into the lockers.
Oh, without a doubt. They score here, they sprint into the locker room feeling really, really good about themselves.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. Looking deep downfield here for Decker. And nearly picked off there, almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. He was trying to hit Taylor Gabriel that time. And it's 3rd down. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This from 54 yards away. And Hauschka's kick is good. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start over in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. 31-7, the final score. From there, we head over to Hotlanta to check out the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Baltimore Ravens. James Washington, well over 100 yards receiving with 3 touchdown catches. And finally, Monday Night Football heads to Seattle with the Vikings trying to break a 4-game losing streak to the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected, all tied through one half of play. For the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. On the return, here's Justin Hardy. So quick on the spin.
Oh, he's spinning, man.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Going deep now for Decker. He's got him in. Complete. He got 29 yards that time. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on.
Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. And this is going to be 49er football. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10. This drive starts out on the ground with Michelle. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Seahawks have recovered.
It may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them pass it, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback in the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. And he fires one incomplete. Eric Decker was the intended receiver, and that'll make it 3rd down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Play action. It's Roethlisberger. Rolling to his right. He's going to... And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Eric Decker with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks are going to take the lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, That's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
He hits Jermaine Curse, and he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
They'll run it. Here's Martin, and he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down to Michelle on the dump off. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Well, throw on 1st down with Wilson. This is caught with a catch right side. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd down, Wilson. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. They'll step aside. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now they run with a backup. It's Chris Ivory. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. To throw is Wilson. To throw on 2nd down. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the 1st down sticks are, and get there.
That's Njoku over the middle, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the shotgun, Wilson. And Green with a catch left side. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Now Wilson on 1st down. And this is caught by Curse. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to get the snap count.
A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. They'll look to throw. On the right side, caught by Green. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Niners on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Back to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the 1st down. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Back to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. He's back to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Throwing now is Wilson. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Now Wilson. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's caught. It's a touchdown. So they rally here in the final minute, and they're an extra point away from tying this game. So getting the big touchdown they needed late in the 4th. Now what do? You conservative and just tie it up?
No, I think you put your practice into game situation. Go as fast as possible. You already have your play call ready to go. Go for 2 and decide it right now.
That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk-reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. Now it's Roethlisberger. Battle for it here, and this will be caught. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as he'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. Roethlisberger now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's Roethlisberger. And the Niners get there and bring him down. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Roethlisberger to throw. Looking deep for Gabriel. Oh, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there. Back-to-back big plays defensively. First the sack, now they force the incompletion on 3rd and long. Things looking pretty good for him.
And this is where they have to be careful because they've got the momentum going their way. They will be really amped up to get to the quarterback. Look out. Draw, screen, something that can be used against them.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. And we've got free football. 4 quarters done, and we're dead even. We'll have overtime after this timeout. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Again, it's Michelle. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now Wilson. He's got his target. It's Cobb. And that one good for 16 yards and a first. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And a nice gain at 21 yards. Offensively, back-to-back really nice plays. This defense, they've got 2 timeouts, maybe should burn one.
Yeah, when you get back-to-back explosive plays, to me, anything over 10 yards, I don't care if it's a run or a pass, I count it as an explosive play. That sets your defense back on its heels. A timeout here would be a good idea and try and get themselves settled because we're in OT. This is big time.
That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. Well, good start for him under center here in overtime. Now 3 of 3.
And this is where you have to know who you have playing quarterback. You've got a confident thrower right now, someone who's taking care of the ball, but not being timid as well, and is moving the team downfield. That opens up.
Oh, and it's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say when you throw an interception like that in overtime? You don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about you. Throw one, you likely cost yourself the game.
They'll start the drive with a give to White. Oh, the spin. And now running right through it. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. They keep it on the ground. White again. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. This being their 2nd opportunity in overtime, 3rd overall drive, see if they can settle into a rhythm.
And that's what you're looking for. Get a few first downs, move the ball downfield, have some confidence, get yourself in a spot where you can at least kick a field goal to win it. But I'll tell you this, if I'm the play caller, I'm looking at that part of my sheet that says playmakers. Get the ball in their hands, critical situation, now's their time.
Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play. Partner, this is a pretty good drive they're putting together. And I know if I'm on the other sideline, that offense, Kind of helpless, isn't it? Because they may not touch the football at all, because if they go down and score a touchdown, this thing's over.
Absolutely. That would write an ending to this script. We'll see what happens. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. First down now, but that clock rolling. From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. And his throw here's incomplete. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face, good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up first and goal. Again, it's Roethlisberger shedding the tackle. And this will be caught. Touchdown. They needed overtime to get it done, but put this one in the win column. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for the Seahawks, they continue to keep pace for that first-round bye as they move to 11-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Minnesota Vikings come to town. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they suffer their